Hi, welcome to our latest edition of Beer Bros and BS. Today I'm joined with
Daniel,
Tony,
Eddie,
Esau,
and JJ.
I'm Dave, and tonight we have a special guest. He already introduced himself. Eddie from Cigar Brewing in Tampa, Florida.
welcome.
Yeah,
Welcome, dude.
Hello.
Okay, so why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
I've been in the beer industry now for about, I'd say, 3.5 years. I started working with Brown Distributing a few years ago. That was pretty much my introduction to the industry. And apparently I did a good job, enough to where Cigar City offered me a job. I've been doing that for a year now. And, within a year I've managed to bring forth an idea for a beer for South Florida. Wayne Wombles and I got together and did a little brainstorming. We had a beer called Hopped in the High Seas that kind of died on us because of complications in Puerto Rico where we were brewing the beer. So we got that recipe and tweaked it a little bit and added Citra hops, and we dry hopped it with Citra hops, and we made it a pale ale instead of an IPA, which it was. And that's pretty much it. We kind of made the quintessential South Florida beer and called it Guayabera.
Nice.
Excellent.
So our fans can get to know you a little bit. Got a couple of little quick questions here for you.
Oh boy.
Yeah. These are going to be real soul-searching questions.
Very personal.
What's your favorite style of beer?
I would say Imperial Stouts, if I'm just going to sip. If I'm going to drink something with, a lot of them, I'm going to drink like 4 or 5, then a session IPA or a pale ale.
Okay, well, that gets to that second question. If you were stuck on a desert island, you had enough supplies, food, water, but the only only beer you could have with you for a year is...
I know this might seem cheesy to say, but I would say Guayabera. If not, if I were to pick something else, I would say maybe Hetty Topper from Alchemist.
Okay.
Great choice.
Who would win in a fight? Batman, Superman?
Batman.
Iron Man or Captain America? The hard-hitting questions here.
I would say Iron Man.
Okay.
More tools.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
So you can do some voyeur activity, huh?
So I could just rob banks.
The creepiest.
The creepiest of all.
Okay, so tonight we're all the beers provided by Eddie here from Cigar City. It is Cigar City night here at Beer Bros and BS. The first one we're drinking tonight is...
So the first one is the Milkmaid. This is a collaboration we did with Hardywood out of Richmond, Virginia. It's a white milk stout that's been brewed with coffee and cacao nibs. So it tastes like a stout, smells like a stout, but looks like a pale ale. It's kind of weird.
Surprised you said cacao. Someone said it right.
Cacao.
Cacao nibs.
For those who don't know, we had an discussion about this a couple weeks ago.
It's a heated debate.
It was very...
Have you guys not seen Portlandia and cacao?
What do you guys think of the beer?
Very good.
Yeah, it's really, really tasty.
What do you taste, Tony?
This is a stout.
So I would have to say I've had a few of these kind of like light-colored stouts. Stone did one not too long ago.
Can you describe the color for everyone at home?
Yeah, it's like a coppery color, whereas most stouts are
Translucent.
dark brown or black. But like I was saying, Stone did one called Master of Disguise, and Cascade has one called Oblique. But I think this is the first, blonde sweet stout that I've had. And so you do get like the lactose sugar in it. Yeah, it's really tasty.
What's the ABV on this one?
Oh, the ABV is 13.5. Now, this is the one that we did in our brewery.
Do not taste the alcohol.
Yeah, it's very smooth for 13.5. So this one is the one that we did at our brewery. There is one that there's a return collaboration that happens in at Hardywood. Actually, I lied to all of you. It's 7%. The Milk Man, which is done at Hardywood, that one's 13.5. Sorry.
Okay, so
That's why you don't taste it, because it's not there.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's the 7%. The other one.
trying to put one over on us.
Yeah.
Make sure we're paying attention.
So tonight's episode, we're focusing on craft beer. American Craft Beer Week is coming up, May 11th through the 17th of this year. So I have to ask you guys, what's the oddest craft beer that you guys have tasted? For me, it have to be from episode 1, Jester King Snorkel. I mean, mushroom beer.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
It's what you'd expect it to be.
I don't think I've had that.
What about you, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. That was my answer as well. It's just two things that you never thought would make an ultra combo.
So did you like it, or did?
Yeah, no, it was solid. It didn't blow me away, but when you first hear about it, you're thinking, oh man, mushrooms in my beer. Fungus beer.
If you saw it on tap somewhere, would you order it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just to
Really?
see. Yeah, because I want to see how it tastes different on tap, opposed to just out of the bottle, like how we had.
Okay.
My weirdest beer, oddest one, would be the banana bread beer by Wells. For me, it was weird because like when I first grabbed the bottle, like, oh, banana bread, is it going to taste weird? When I tried that beer, it tasted amazing. And I think that was probably like one of my favorite beers that I've had that I keep in my car, like the little...
You keep it under your pillow or what?
That's why I keep it there.
You keep it in rotation.
That's how you know you have a drinking problem. If you're keeping beer under your pillow.
No, he puts the empty bottles for the beer fairy. He still hopes to come one day.
Nice. There you go.
Wait, will that work?
It just looks weird.
Do they refill it?
You're looking at you're looking at the labels like banana beer, but like it's actually pretty good.
Banana bread beer.
Yeah.
No, it's actually his mom puts $1 and takes the bottle away.
Recycling 10 cents in the What about you, Eddie?
I would have to choose Darwin's. They had a ceviche beer at Hunapu Day this year, and it was very odd. It had like garlic and cilantro and some other stuff in it, but it tasted like ceviche, so they pulled it off, and I enjoyed the sip that I had. I don't know if I would order it again, but it wasn't terrible. It was just really odd.
What style was that supposed to be like?
It was a wheat beer, so I would say just wheat beer, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Tony?
For me, it was a beer that another local brewery made, Gravity Brew Lab. They made a sea buckthorn Berliner Weiss
Yes.
a couple of years ago at Berliner Bash on the Bay in St. Pete. And if you don't know what sea buckthorn is, join the club because I don't know what it is either. I had to Google it, but it's a kind of berry. I thought it was like some underwater plants.
Why? Because of its name?
I know. Right?
Just you can look by its cover?
Sea buckthorn, but it does have a kind of like briny taste to it, as well as like citrus and berry flavor. It was unlike anything I had before. It was tasty.
Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna go with Ghostface Killer. It is technically a beer that is brewed with some ghost peppers, and it's ridiculously spicy. The initial sip, you're like, okay, this is not too bad. I might wind up enjoying it. And then about 3 to 5 seconds later, your mouth is like on fire, and there's nothing you can do to make it better except drinking a better beer.
Okay. So I have to ask you then, along that same route, what beer do you think is or meh, but everyone else loves?
For me, I'm going to go with Blue Moon or anything along those lines. What's the other one? Shock Top. Very similar and also not really something I'm into, but apparently a lot of people like it.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. Same for me. Tony?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of just the style in general, the Belgian wheat beers. For me, the meh beer is basically anything by Lagunitas.
Hey, Lagunitas sucks!
I don't know why I can't get into their beers. People love them, but I don't know. I don't know if it's their like house yeast or what it is, but just it doesn't appeal to me.
Just
Meh.
Eddie?
Well,
Start a brewery war right now.
start brewing work. I'm going to just go ahead and say it. Honestly, one of the most, I believe, is like everybody loves it. I'm not huge on it. Is KBS from Founders. I think it's good. It's a good stout, but it's really boozy right up front. And, you know, you have to wait a while for it to warm up to get some of the other flavors out of it, which is normal for a barrel-aged stout, but I just think if it was regularly available, it wouldn't be such a big deal for people. I think the hype would die down a little bit. It's still a great beer, I think. I'm not that excited about it.
Well, I'm going to go with, I'm going to take a local shot here, unfortunately. I'm going to go with Winwood's Pops Porter.
Ooh, what? That's controversial.
Yeah, I know.
Gold medal winner.
No, exactly. That's why I'm putting it there. Just because I don't feel it's at that tier. At least, you know, it's subjective. So I'm saying, for me, I don't put it on that top tier shelf of porters. So it's still a very solid beer. I like it a lot. I'm just saying, it's similar to what Eddie was saying with his selection. I just think that, you know, that the hype levels are way up there. When you have it, you're like, okay, yeah, it's solid. So
I'm gonna go with Blue Moon because a lot of people that when I hang out with some of my friends are like, oh, I'm gonna get some craft beer, and they always order Blue Moon. I'm like, that's not craft beer. It's like corporate craft beer, and it sucks. You know?
Yeah! Tell them how you really feel.
And then they're drinking Corona, and then I got off all my friends off Corona now. They're drinking craft beer, and they love it.
Good. I'm proud to hear that.
So,
just in time for Cinco de Mayo, get them to.
she drank those Coronas, and I was like, here, have some CCP, and have this, and have that, and they don't drink that. Now they love the beer they drink all the time is Victory's Golden Monkey.
That's a good beer.
What about everybody's favorite Mexican? Or how about this?
What?
My favorite Mexican
Beer.
My favorite Mexican beer?
Or how about this? Corona Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
Dos Equis.
I would say Modelo, actually.
Modelo Especial, yeah.
Yeah, but between those two, man, I would go with Dos Equis.
I do like the Negra Modelo.
Yeah, that's not
So
a bad
both
beer.
of them are good.
If I'm gonna drink a Mexican beer, that's what I choose.
Both Modelos are pretty solid beer, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Has anybody had the Oculto beer? The tequila beer?
Oh, it's awful.
Is it really?
Oh, it's disgusting, dude.
Yeah. It sounds like it would
So
be
you
kind
didn't
of
like it?
No, that might be on my list of worst beers of all time.
Dude, really?
Yeah. Have you ever had that, it was one that they used to have back in the day, it was like, Tequila.
Tequila. Yeah.
It's like that, but even sweeter, and like,
no.
it's so gross. It tastes like corn syrup and crap.
One is made out of agave.
Yeah, it's supposedly, but...
It's barrel aged, bro.
Oh, yeah, sure it is.
Can we just agree that like tequila and beer just should not mix?
Yeah.
They should,
Did you not like murcielago that we aged in tequila barrels?
Dun, dun, dun.
Actually, that is the best one.
All right.
But
Because if you say no, they cancel your Catador membership.
Nice.
So, next question, guys. What's your favorite American craft brewery, other than one that you work for, have worked for, currently work for?
Okay.
For me, I'm going to throw it out there. I'm just going to say it. Cigar City. They're biggest in Florida, in my opinion. There's so much that they've done that
You kiss ass.
I do have to say I don't have a Catador membership, but I'm just throwing that out there. But honestly,
You're like, hey, maybe you could hook up the show with one.
Cigar City, I do love all their beers. What about you, Jerry?
Well, I'm gonna go with Cigar City. Yeah, pretty much everything that you covered, and I'm gonna add on top of that. That was the first time that I got to travel to a brewery, that, or at least local homegrown kind of stuff, and everything there was exceptional. Everyone there was friendly, and this was way before Eddie got there. And, thanks to Bob. I think he still works there. Does Bob still work there?
Morber, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And he gave us a beer tour, and it was a fantastic time, and it still holds on to now.
Before you continue, you start. We're actually on our second beer now.
All right.
So,
Second beer is The Milkman, which is the return collaboration from Hardywood. This is actually made at Hardywood. It's a chocolate milk stout and it's 13.5%.
It's delicious, man.
It is so delicious.
Now, what we're going to do at some point is combine the Milkman and the Milkmaid, and it's going to create what we call the heifer. It's actually on the back of the bottle. You can see it there. It tells you about that, but you do a little half and half there. It's pretty delicious. I had it up in Virginia. I highly recommend that.
Nice.
Well, I was hoping it was going to be called the Mega Maid from Spaceballs.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
Ethan.
Ethan.
I would want to say Wakefield. I mean, to me, he's like an up and comer, but he is setting his roots in Florida, in Miami. Like he is he's bringing Miami craft scene into the limelight. And if he was big at Cigar City, I think he could really compete with Cigar City.
Ooh.
I'm sorry,
Ooh.
but he makes some really good beers, and he had that power or the money and the, you know.
So, what is your favorite brewery, other than one that you work for or you have worked for?
Cigar City. No, I'm kidding.
Kiss ass.
No, I mean, to make amends for my previous comment of KBS, honestly, one of my favorite breweries is Founders. They make really solid, consistent beers, and their year-round lineup is every style you could hope for. You know, you have a stout, you have a porter, you have a pale ale, you have an IPA, and then all their specialty things are amazing too. You know, Blushing Monk and Dissenter and a bunch of other ones that they do that are really great. It's either them or Oscar Blues. I love all of their beers as well. I mean, Pinner just came out recently here in Florida is a fantastic session IPA, and 1050 is still one of my favorite stouts.
Yeah, I agree. 1050.
I agree on the Oscar Blues front. I think that they're awesome.
Yeah.
I have to agree on the Founders. I've been to the brewery, and it reminds me very much of when you walk in, that long, narrow kind of view you have of Cigar City.
Mm.
The same kind of, that's the way that the bar is at Founders over in Michigan. Tony?
Well, besides Cigar City, I'd say for me it's probably Cascade. Me being the sourhead that I am, I can drink Cascade beers all the time. And humble brag, I did go to Portland one time and visit their barrel house and spent the entire day there just drinking everything they had. And it was a great day.
That's awesome. I actually, I wanted to say Cascade as well. I think that everything I've had from them is phenomenal for its style. They don't, from what I've seen, there's not too much of a variety of styles. It seems like they're more sour-centric, which is fine by me. But I'd like to kind of see some more variety from them too. But everything I've had has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And there's one more that we can't left unsaid, which is The Brewery.
Absolutely.
I was just about to say it.
Yeah. No, I agree on that one.
Orange County, California.
Yeah.
They just make phenomenal beers.
Yeah.
And
Straight across the board.
And extra shout out. One more. I'm gonna go with Three Floyds also.
All right.
Zombie dust, bro.
Yeah, I've yet to have anything bad from them. So
Well, I was writing on that paper. We should shout out small, independent breweries that we think are up and coming, maybe, perhaps.
So, like Issa mentioned, Jay Wakefield.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say maybe Night Shift up north in Boston is fantastic. I had Whirlpool while I was up there. It's one of the best IPAs I've ever drank. Strange Ways out of Virginia as well. I think they're doing fantastic. And Bottle Logic in California.
for as far as small ones that are on the rise, I'm gonna go with Cycle Brewing
Yeah.
and St. Pete.
It's a great choice.
Yeah, Doug is. There's another master of the beer arts. Oh, dude, and our Walter White.
What about Funky Buddha?
Of course.
Yeah, the place is so big. I always forget that there's still small time.
Yeah.
You go in there and the place is huge compared to everywhere else.
Wait, are they small time though? They have. I mean, you can buy their beer at Publix now.
Well,
Well,
only in
Florida.
Florida. It's not nationwide.
Actually, only in, Central Florida down.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Tampa down.
Yeah. I would actually like to mention Nightlife as well. Our buddy Scott works with them, and it's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A couple other ones from LA. Phantom Carriage is just starting out, but they have really good barrel aged sours, and the brewery the brewery is a really cool spot. And also in San Diego, Council Brewing. They make like awesome tart saisons with different treatments, and they're awesome.
Yeah, the Phantom one, that's the one you told me that they had a sour quad, correct?
Yes.
Dude,
That blows my mind right there. I didn't think those two things could exist.
Yeah, it was amazing.
that's pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
So let me ask you guys, what would be your gateway craft beer? The beer that got you saying, man, craft beer is pretty special.
Better than just like regular.
What was the beer that made you say, I don't want to drink Budweiser anymore?
Budweiser.
Right, Tony?
No, it's actually my real. Shit, that was good. But my real response is actually the not technically a craft, just an import, but the Franziskaner Hefeweizen, one of the first import or craft beers that I really started to enjoy. And it was, before we had as many, beer bars in the city, so I would actually have to search for stores to buy bottles, Sunset Corners and places like that, before we had Total Wine and, before craft was as readily available as it is now.
Yeah, I think we touched on this on an earlier podcast too. Like for me, the first like craft beer that I got into was Cherry Wheat from Sam Adams back in college, and I don't like it anymore now.
It's not sour enough?
It's not sour enough, and now I don't really like wheat beers. But at the time, this was like in college, which is a while back. That's what I would drink because it didn't taste like Bud Light, Miller Lite, the watery, lagers from the time.
If we're going to count Sam Adams, then I'm going to count Winter Lager. I thought was one of the first ones that I had. I had it, and I was just like, what is going on in this beer? It's different, I'm not used to this. But if we want to go for like real craft, like intense, small, independent breweries, Golden Monkey was the first one that I had when I was in Asheville. We were on tour, and I just remember going to a bar and like, Golden Monkey, 9%. Give me that. I don't know what that is, but I want it. And it was awesome. And from that day forward, I switched completely to smaller, independent breweries. Like, I couldn't go back.
I would have to say when I went to Vegas with you guys, when JJ and Tony and Dan, I think it was on that trip, right?
Yeah.
And we had Hitachino Nest.
That's right.
That was probably one of the beers that I had that I really opened up my eyes to like what other beers are out there, and that bar was amazing because it had so many other craft beers.
This was the Burger Bar.
Burger Bar.
In between Luxor and MGM, right?
Right. Luxor
and Mandalay.
All
right, I mixed those two.
Hitachino's the one with the little owl?
Yeah.
Right.
Loved it.
Japan.
Yeah. So, repeating my answer from a previous episode, Chime White from the same place, Burger Bar. But I was really thinking about what's one that really, really got me into, especially something a little heavier than that, because that's kind of easy drinking the white. Dogfish 90 was the first IPA and craft beer that I really had, and I was like, wow. I didn't think I would like IPA, because you hear how bitter it is or whatever, and I was like, boom, hooked.
For me, it was Victory Hop.
Oh, nice.
It was the same thing. I had to thinking like, man, why can't I? What can I get here? It was man, what was the name of that bar? I couldn't. Have to get both of those. What you might hear right now is Dan is mixing.
I'm pouring out the heifer. I'm mixing the milkman and the milkmaid as Eddie was describing earlier. And, I'm going to take a sip and let you guys know how it goes.
This is the beer named after all your moms.
Dude, it's really, really good. Wow.
Yeah, there's not much of the milk made left. So
it's an awesome mix.
Just sips.
Okay, so how about just like overall your favorite beer?
If you were to pick one favorite beer.
Yeah.
Am I starting this?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
looking at you.
Here, I'll pass these along. To be honest, and this is going to probably upset some people, and I don't care, 120 from Dogfish. I know it's overhyped, or it was overhyped, and now nobody cares anymore. I don't know what the deal is, but to me, that beer, fresh or aged, is always good. Every time I take a sip, I'm just like, oh yes,
Yeah.
and I have no complaints, ever from it. So it would have to be 120 for me. That would be pick either that or Bourbon County Stout, but Bourbon County kind of fluctuates sometimes. To me, 120 is always consistent. So.
Tony.
Don't make me pick a favorite beer. It's like choosing between your children.
You hate children.
That's true. Okay. I guess I'll go with my desert island beer too, which is what we had last week, the Rodenbach Character Rouge. So good.
Featured on the previous episode.
Available on iTunes and SoundCloud.
By the way, this is freaking amazing. This is
The Heifer?
I already used the word, but I'm going to do it in the true fashion. Ultra combo.
Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
It's like chocolate milk.
If you guys haven't had many beers from Hardywood, I recommend it. They make amazing beers. I would put them in the up-and-coming small independent breweries. Their gingerbread stout is fantastic. All their barrel-aged stuff is great. So look out for their beers.
How about you, Dan?
I'm going to be a little bit of a suck-up. I have to go with Hunapu and any variation of it. Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And it's always good, no matter what.
I'm going to get some eyes rolling on this one personally. Guinness. I love it any time of day.
Now, are we talking American Guinness or from Ireland?
Guinness draft, not Guinness foreign extra.
Well, I mean, because I've heard stories from people that the one you get in Ireland tastes completely different than the one you get here in America.
I believe they said there's 3 breweries, and supposedly North America is serviced by Ireland's. There's one in Africa, and one in Guinness is huge in Nigeria.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
So big they need their own brewery?
Yeah. That's what they drink. A lot of post-British and Irish.
So once they're tired of scamming people on the internet, they want to drink some Guinness. I see.
Well, I don't think they're actually Nigerian princes.
Isa, no reason to be bitter because you got fooled by the prince emailing you. And
telling you, hey, I've got the newest season of the league for you to download.
Just send me $1,000.
And then he told me he's gonna show up to my hotel and bring me some fortunes that I won in the lottery, and that's all fake.
You felt bad getting that hotel room then, didn't you?
Well, we've all been there. No, we haven't. Just you, Isa.
Not once, but how many times? So what would be everyone's opinion if you were to say, what is the quintessential American style of beer? That nowadays they're making beer, every type of beer everywhere, but for instance, I think IPAs, that is the quintessential, even though it stands for
India Pale Ale.
Yeah.
Even though it has nothing to do with
it.
It's when they were shipping overseas to India.
But I think you have so many styles of that here versus anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, that's exactly what I put. I said IPA. To me, it just feels like the one beer style that you can have no matter where you live in America at any time of the year. And it, gets the job done, and pretty much every brewery makes it. So, real quick, I didn't get to say my favorite beer of all time is Double Barrel Hanapupu.
Yes.
Yep, the poo-poo.
Oh, with the Kobe Luwak beans.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a Freudian slip.
I would say the lager because you can make a lager. And it's American lager, and everyone has a lager. It's
It's a
American,
pretty European style.
but they have an American lager. It's like
Yeah, like Yingling.
Yingling.
Okay.
And all, it's like
Yang-a-lang.
Yingling.
It does not rhyme with
another
dingling.
overrated, another overrated beer that I get everyone off of. It's a good beer, but it's
Which one? Yangalang?
Yangalang.
I'll take a Yangling pretty much anytime.
I would have to say Pale Ale. That just feels very America to me. Dale's Pale Ale, or I think Pale could become the standard, because IPA sometimes a lot of people get thrown off or discouraged because of the bitterness of the hops and everything. So Pale Ale kind of tones it down a little bit.
I can see that.
And the can is red, white, and blue.
Yes.
Come on. Doesn't get more.
Damn straight it better be.
Murder. It doesn't matter what style of beer is in the can. As long as it's a red, white, and blue can, that's most American.
Unless you order that Dale's Pale Ale in Miami, you get Dale Pale Ale.
Dale.
Oh, jeez. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I mean, today you'd have to say like the most popular craft beer is the American IPA. You know, extra hoppy. You know, people are doing so much with different varieties of hops and getting all different kind of flavors. Another one, it's not really as popular, but I think like America makes probably the best stouts, like imperial stouts. You know, with our like barrel aging and different treatments.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that. I was going to say that, to me, bourbon is a pretty American drink, and bourbon barrel-aged beers are the quintessential American beer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And to go back to the IPA and the hops thing, I believe your company just came up, CCB, with a new one that's it's the most hops that they've ever
The Jolly Ollie. Jolly Ollie is a single IPA that's using 10 different hop varietals, which, from what I understand, that's the most that's been used in any beer. I said
Any
that's-
CCB beer or any beer?
Apparently, any beer. This is from the mouth of Wayne. I'm not entirely sure how accurate that is, but 10 hop varietals is still a lot of hop varietals for beer, and it's delicious. It's very West Coast resiny, piney feeling.
Ooh, nice.
Well, speaking on that, what would be everyone's favorite beer if they were to make a specific beer, whatever your recommendation would be? What would you like them to make? CCB to make. For me, it's they were to make like a guava pastelito. Sweet, very very sweet. Kind of like maybe throw in some flavor of the candy, the sugar that would be baked on it.
That's something I've been working on for a little bit.
Yes. You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Beer Bros and BS.
I've spoken to, before I worked for CCB too, I spoke to Winwood about trying to make it with them, and then once I got the job at CCB, I'm like, well, no, I'm taking that idea, and we're going to try and do it at CCB, but it hasn't really taken off yet. It's just something I'm working on, but definitely, yeah, pastelito, guava, pastelito is something in my blood that I have to make happen.
What about you, Dan?
I'd just like to see more barrel-aged stouts. And also some more sours from Cigar City. I've done a few, but I'd like to experience a little bit more of that. Maybe some of that lactic acid in my mouth.
Well, to that note, just so you know, we are currently expanding the brewery, and we are implanting a stronger barrel program. So
Awesome.
that is happening. So.
That is music to my ears.
I'm glad to hear that, man.
More breaking news.
Breaking news. You heard it here.
I believe I'm allowed to say these things.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Hey, you're fired.
And why did I get fired? Oh, because you said I'm not accurate.
So one beer that I would love to see Cigar City bring back is Sea Bass. You know, which is it's like a sour saison, I think.
Yep.
And it had like the taste of like sweet tarts, and that's a delicious one, which hasn't been around in a long time.
I guess
That's my vote.
To answer that, the reason why we don't do it anymore is because we don't have a pasteurizer, and the beer was kind of not stable. So we are talking about getting a pasteurizer at some point, and if that does happen, then sea bass is closer to becoming a reality again. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh. What beer would you like them to make? I mean, you have the direct line.
Aside from my pastelito beer, which is one that I've been working on for a long time, I just came up with an idea today, which I'm not going to go into details, but I'm just going to say it's a Florida Goes.
Ooh.
And it is tropical and seasonal. I'll tell you guys after we stop recording so that my ideas don't get stolen.
Secret plans! Right here on Beer Bro BS.
All right, so a beer that I would like CCB to make back again or produce again would be the Life is Like. I enjoyed that beer a lot, and I would like to see CCB make more like a pineapple beer and maybe like a coconut beer, like a Last Snow kind of like from Funky Buddha.
Well, we just did a coconut flan cream ale, which is how it's called El Coco. It's a collaboration with Five Rabbits. It's on draft at a couple places, and I believe bottles are coming at some point. And then we do have a pineapple upside down lager, which is pretty tasty, but it's usually a brewery exclusive. But I think once we get a pasteurizer, if we do, it will allow for beers like that to be made. Because the thing is, when you have beers that are so crazy, like oatmeal raisin cookie or stuff like that, it doesn't really last long in a bottle unless you pasteurize it. And we don't pasteurize any of our beers right now. So,
Do you want to explain that process?
no. No, I don't. I don't know enough to give you information. I just know that the process does make some of the flavor drop out, but it also preserves it so that it lasts longer in a bottle than, say, a week or two. You know what I mean? It'll preserve the flavors. It's something that we've never wanted to, I don't think we've ever wanted to do just because we like unpasteurized beer has more flavor, and that's one of the things we're known for, just very bold flavors. So that's why we're trying to not compromise and lose any flavor, but we might have to just to appease some of the people that want pineapple lager or oatmeal raisin cookie cans or something.
Croqueta beer.
Ugh.
That would be the first. That'd be at the first question. What was the strangest, hottest beer?
Right. No, for me,
I'd drink it.
I want to see Snack Attack come back.
Ooh,
Dude, yes.
I love Snack Attack. Had it the first time I went ever to Honeypoo Fest, like 3 years ago or whatever, and that is such a desserty amazingness. And as far as one that they haven't made that I want them to make is my ultimate beer, and that's white chocolate covered Oreo.
Oh,
white chocolate covered Oreos.
Yeah.
That sounds something Wakefield will do for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
He's already done an Oreo porter. So.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to hound everybody I know to
if Wakefield
to
does
make
it, Winwood might do it some upcoming Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the odds are high that would happen.
So now we're up, guys. We are on our third beer. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
This third beer is Goodnight Mekong. It is a coffee imperial stout that we did in collaboration with the Answer Brew Pub. The Answer Brew Pub is in Richmond, Virginia. It's owned by On. So it's a play on words. The Answer is actually the Answer. And his name is On Mekong. He also happens to own the #1 craft beer bar in the United States 2 years in a row now. And I was there recently, and I'll tell you, it's not a lie. That place, 80-something beers, all of them ridiculous, Bourbon Counties and Allagash sours and all kinds of crazy things. Plus, On is a great host and a great person, actually, to know. But this is a Vietnamese coffee imperial stout that we did with him. He actually came to Tampa to do it with us. And it came out pretty delicious, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's 11%. ABV is 11%.
Wow. And once again, hidden very well on here.
Dude, it's really, really good.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a lot sweeter than some of the coffee ones, the coffee stouts that you typically hear about or have lately, because that seems to be kind of a hot thing to do. And
yeah, well, it's all On. He brought some crazy coffee beans. I got a chance to try them when he showed up at the brewery and just chew on them, and they were roasted with like honey and all kinds of crazy things. And it's Vietnamese coffee, which has a very distinct coffee flavor, I think. I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, as far as coffee beers, whenever they're made with Vietnamese coffee, I like them a lot better.
Yeah.
So they know their coffee in Vietnam, apparently.
Yeah, they do.
So sticking on that subject, wow, I'm having a
brain lapse. the beer is so amazing.
What would be one beer bar? What's your favorite beer bar that you've been to or you want to go to one? What is?
So how about each person will say the favorite one they've been to and the one they'd like to go to? I'll start it off. I'd say that probably the one that I really want to visit is what Eddie was just talking about, and the Mekong Answer Brew Pub. Yeah. I really want to check that out. I'm also looking forward to checking out Monk's Cafe in Philadelphia. It's Belgians and sours everywhere. Sounds pretty phenomenal. But as for a place that I've actually been to, I'm going to say Red Light in Orlando is probably the best beer bar I've seen.
Right on.
Yeah.
Probably the best one that I've been to is Ebenezer's Pub in Maine. It's in Lowell, Maine, which has nothing else but this place, basically.
Why were you in Maine?
Visiting a buddy who lives up there.
Cool.
And
Did you live on Main Street?
no.
Ah.
No. But this is a really awesome beer bar. Yeah, basically they just have like a great cellar selection, great food, and lots of different beers. And I'll second Red Light, Red Light. That place is awesome too. It's in Orlando, Florida.
Favorite beer bar? I would have to say Mekong, just because it honestly is the best craft beer bar that I've ever been to. Just in terms of hospitality and options and just the environment and everything. Runner-up, probably Kush here in Miami. Even though it's tiny, everybody there is super friendly and they always got a great selection. And then in terms of something that I want to visit, I would have to say the Stone Gardens, the Stone Brewing Gardens that they have out there, just because I hear it's beautiful and I've never been there, so I want to check that out. Cool.
I would say Aces and Ales in Las Vegas. It's got like 150 taps. Different craft beer there, and it's also like a brew pub. They have like amazing food, and a lot of the beer also is vintage too. So, and limited selection they have there. That's probably one of the places I would like to go to.
What's your favorite?
My favorite would have to be CCB's bar tap room.
Tasty. Cool.
Yeah, tasty room.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with Dan and say Red Light. Just for that, they also have a vintage case with like really old stuff.
Dude, you can get some ridiculously like aged stuff from them, and it's phenomenal.
Yeah. The other one, I can't really place the name right now. Maybe Tony can help me. When we went to Atlanta,
The Porter.
the Porter, it looked like a torture sex dungeon. But it was...
That's why you went in at first, right?
Yes, exactly.
Wait, what?
We thought we were going into something else. No, it's really cool. It was like... everything was like Castle Rock kind of theme, and it was super dark. The menus were, these huge leather-bound books or whatever. Just like,
Leather-bound books.
Does the bar smell of rich mahogany?
so what we're doing. I don't know. It was really a cool vibe, and everyone was really friendly.
I would have to say, other than it being, like dimly lit, I wouldn't say it looks like a sex dungeon by any stretch.
I don't know.
Have you been to any sex dungeons? Has your life taken you to many of these places?
I'm not answering this. So as far as the ones I want to go to, definitely the Mekong is on the list, and I definitely want to go to the House of Sours for Cascade. Just for what I've heard, the selection that they have there, oh my god, a bunch of stuff that we don't get here on the East Coast that I would definitely like to try.
For me, I'd definitely want to visit Mekong. Favorite beer bar would have to be World of Beer. That's what got me into it. 50 taps, always changing. Over 500 different beers in stock, in bottles. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things. A lot of people complain about it, like, oh, it's the Walmart of beer, but I go to Walmart because it's good and it's cheap. It has a bunch of stuff I need. So I don't see why it's a problem that World of Beer is a Walmart. Yeah, they have a lot of options and it's cheaper than most places. So.
Yeah, I think that they don't like it probably just because anybody can go there. And so some of the snobbier craft beer geeks are like, oh, I want this to be my place. And they don't like the casuals.
Yeah, just because it's corporate, I guess. But,
yeah, and it's corporate, but no, that
yeah, like you said, they got 50 taps, so you're bound to find something you like.
There's always special events for
bottles,
special brewery nights. Yeah,
there's no reason not to enjoy that place if you like drinking beer at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people that complain about that, they can go live somewhere else. Not America.
What would be? Let me ask you guys. If you could have, what's one craft beer that you wish you could taste but you haven't yet?
Okay.
For me, it's a Heady Topper.
You haven't had any?
No.
Really?
I have not. And it kills me. It kills me. This right there is killing me right now.
Dude. Well, I'm gonna say that I haven't had any of the Pliny variation, Pliny the Elder or the Younger.
Really?
And I know that people make that comparison of Pliny versus Hetty. I've had Hetty, and I think it's awesome. So
I think Hetty's better than Pliny.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even think it's close. I think Hetty beats it by a lot.
I mean, I want to try it.
I think Pliny, to me, I don't know if I've never had a fresh Pliny, but it always, when I've had it, it just tasted like High Life. Now, maybe I'm just being, biased, but Hetty is a different flavor completely to Pliny.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, I still want to try it out.
Yeah, so I have had Pliny the Elder, and it's very good. Hetty is like the top IPA that I've ever had.
Sorry, Eddie.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But for me, Pliny the Younger, just because it's like so difficult to try. You got to fly out to Russian River Brewing on a certain day or a certain week and to get it, and just so I can try it and see what the hype's all about and see if it lives up to it.
I'm on the same boat, Pliny the Elder, and then also Assassin. I've never had it. I know we had it at Hunipoo Day, but I wasn't able to get to it in time. I don't know, but Assassin is one from Toppling Goliath that I've never had that everybody's hyping up, and I got to try it.
Is that like the double pseudo sue? No, that's a different name.
That's a different beer, yeah.
But that's Toppling Goliath as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that pseudo sue beer is phenomenal.
They also have one called SR71, which apparently people freak out. I've never had that either.
I'd like to try more of their stuff. I really liked what I've had.
It's made with mutant hops.
Mine would be the Westphaterian, the Westie.
West what?
Presbyterian? Presbyterian.
Presbyterian Church?
Jesus, dude.
The West better. Just call it
Westie. I said Westie the second time.
Yeah, just call it Westie. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the one I want to try.
I have one. You can.
I think Tony has.
Yeah, I was gonna
too.
say. Yeah, Tony's.
Yeah, everyone has one, but no one
one.
brings it, and no one never gets.
I was
to try it.
actually very underwhelmed by that beer.
Dude, Rochefort 10 is just as good.
I agree. We did a blind taste test of 5 of the same style, and the Rockford
Yeah, it's the same.
ended up winning it out.
It's just as good.
And way cheaper.
Well, you can't even buy Westie.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'm gonna go a little bit more exotic, and they're one of those special day ones. It's a variation of the Black Note Stout. I'm gonna do the double barrel aged vanilla that they have. And
Jesus Christ.
I hear it on the beer blogs and boards that they're saying that is hands down the best barrel aged vanilla stout by anybody. And I was like, and Black Note Stout is already God tier of stouts.
I think I have half a chub right now.
Moing. So,
Yeah.
What was the question?
There you go.
Oh, did you have one of your bonus questions?
Oh, bonus question time. All right. I was going to ask you particularly, Eddie, what's your favorite part of working for Cigar City?
Well, apart from working for one of the best breweries in the world, no, that was just honestly though, yeah, we do make really good liquid. I was a fan before I worked for the company, so that alone right there, that's a good enough reason. But I also really enjoy the family aspect of it. I mean, everybody at the brewery works with each other and treats each other like family. Within my first week or so, Joey, the owner, just, he offered for me to stay at his house to go watch the World Cup. And
Nice.
hey, you want to borrow my car? I'm like, dude, you just met me. But it's that thing. It's that, hey, we're a family. We're in this together. We hired you because we want you to be part of the family. So that's really the one thing I appreciate the most.
All right. Rock on.
So right now we're on our fourth beer, final one of the evening.
Yes. So the final one of the evening is a Marshall Zukov 2013. Whew. This is 11% Imperial Stout. It's one of our flagships. It's actually the base beer for Hunipoo that everybody loves. I haven't tried this 2013 since 2013, so I'm not sure how it's aged out. Let's check it out.
No?
Tastes great.
Yeah.
Dude, that's really good.
Yeah. Come to think about it, to go back, the 2013 of all the years I've tried, I think that's still my favorite year, the Zukov.
Mine's 12. 2012 was my favorite year. Aside from this last year was great. But if you want to go vintage, I'd say 12 was I think the peak.
I think we need to do a vertical episode.
I do have a vertical. I have from 11 to now, plus the barrel age variant. I'm trying to get a 10, so you just have like all of them. But
Ooh, much
That'd
exciting.
be cool.
I actually almost brought a 12 tonight.
Nice.
I'm so close.
So, well, to go a little bit more nerdy here, we're gonna get off the beer subject, and how about talk about something that just passed, Comic Book Day. So it was Free Comic Book Day not too long ago, and so we're gonna kind of pull around the audience here and see what is your favorite comic book or comic book series, Eddie?
This is a little tough for me. I'm kind of caught between Batman and the Avengers, just because I'm more into the villains. Honestly, to be straight up, I don't really care much about the heroes. Batman's the only hero I care about, only because he has a dark history. He's one of the darker superheroes, and he doesn't kill anyone yet. Spoiler alert for Comic Book Day. I just finished reading the new Endgame story arc. I don't know how many have read that, but it's been out for a while. Do you mind if I talk about it real quick? So, spoiler alert, if you care about the new 52 Batman series Endgame story arc, Batman and Joker kill each other. And that's how it ends. There's no more Batman, there's no more Joker.
That's
insane. Yeah, it's a pretty intense series, very bloody, very, insane, I would have to say. It started off with Death of the Family, and it just got progressively crazier up until they fought to the death. And Jim Gordon is actually going to take over the mantle of Batman.
Isn't he a little old?
He's going to wear the mechanical suit that they have for the Superman movie or whatever. Yeah. So he's going to be like robot Batman.
That's pretty awesome.
It's crazy.
Kind of like Azrael when he was Batman.
Right,
okay.
Right, yeah.
Now, did Joker have the damaged tattoo on his forehead?
No. So to kind of go back to your question, I would have to say, I guess, Batman, just because it's a much more real story, more psychological than, say, the Avengers and the Infinity War. The Infinity Gauntlet, to me, is one of the greatest comic book series ever made. So I'm obsessed with Thanos, as you guys know, and the Joker. I have it tattooed on my arm. It's one of those things. So it would be that. That would be my answer.
Yeah. How about you, Tom?
I'm not like the biggest comic book fan like the rest of y'all. Probably my favorite is Thor.
Really? I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Were you into like mythology and stuff as a kid?
Yeah, I'm a big nerd.
That's cool.
Do you love his long blonde hair?
It's so pretty.
Is that what it is?
Next question.
He doesn't deny it.
Yeah, not denying it.
So
He's a woman now.
Something like
No,
that.
he's not a woman.
Well, whatever. Thor is a woman.
Thor is still Thor. There's somebody else.
There's a woman with his power.
Yeah, I believe they in an episode 2 they're gonna name who it is.
Right.
But it's like a woman that gets his powers or something.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
Thor's still there. He's still around.
Yeah.
He's still an Avenger.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tony, your favorite Thor comic individual book is the one where he turns into a frog, correct?
Classic.
All right. How about you, Dan? Favorite comic book series or comic book series?
Oh, jeez.
That did say that on the cover.
Yeah, that was actually the...
Are you serious? That's phenomenal. Because I figured that was just like a Tony joke.
No.
Oh, man. My favorite has got to be the RoboCop versus Terminator.
Oh, nice.
Frank Miller story, and forgot the artist. But
Todd McFarlane. Spawn.
I think it might be. I'm not sure. But it's pretty awesome. I'm a big fan of those movies, and that lives up to, keeping that whole mythology going. Another thing, if I'm going to stick with, what's hot right now, I would say I'm a big War Machine guy, and I was a fan of how he was doing in Age of Ultron. He had some of the best.
Spoilers.
No spoiler, really.
Well, no, they mentioned he's in the movie.
Yeah, he's in the commercials.
He's in the commercials.
But he's obviously going to be in the movie. And, he has some of the best one-liners in it, in my opinion, besides Hawkeye.
I'd have to say, best one-liners in the movie. Go to him.
Yeah.
For me, I'd have to say, easily Iron Man. my favorite series. All the different volumes of how he kind of went back to his old ways. Where once the movies came out, he in the comics kind of copied that image where he wants renewable energy. He wants to help humanity. And then recently in the comics, something happened, and he's a dick again.
As he should be.
Yeah, he ends up pretty much with everyone that has a smartphone, gives them the ability, gives them the extremis virus, and allows them to change their body however they want. More muscles, you want to lose weight, you want to change the color of your hair, your eyes, anything. And everyone with a smartphone is now whatever ideal image they want. And then a day later, they revert back to themselves, and they get a message on their phone saying that their trial has ended. If they'd like to continue that, they have to pay $100 a day.
Oh, God.
So he gets insanely rich. People are upset with him. It makes for an interesting story. I'd also have to say Ghost Rider. Dark story.
Speaking of, the Marvel just got the rights back for
Yeah.
Ghost Rider and
Breaking news.
and Punisher
Yep.
and
And Blade.
Yeah.
No, Blade.
Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already talking about Tom Hardy being the Punisher.
I think that's awesome. I hope he does it.
that would be fantastic.
Yeah. Ghost Rider is a great story. Kind of how they have it now. They have a new Ghost Rider. The way it ended before, and they kind of took it. They borrowed that from in the last movie. How could somebody that was evil, their goal on the earth was to punish evil? It was like, well, really, it was a good angel that was kind of corrupted, and it's just a crazy story of how one angel's trying to take over, and this demon is bound to him, and you get all this crazy power, and how everything's so intertwined and related. How he's so strong, how he could take on the Hulk when the Hulk was rampaging through New York and going after everyone that sent him off world. They were like, oh, if Ghost Rider comes along, stops this, he can stop him. He can go toe to toe with him. So he's just that strong, and it's a whole power there, but it's also mystical. So
Kind of religious undertone.
yeah, a little bit of
little
that.
bit. Nice.
Why doesn't Ghost Rider just use his real name when he writes a book?
I don't know.
After that passion,
There's probably some kind of catch to it. For those of you who don't know, one of the Ghost Riders, his name is Danny Ketch.
There you go. Touche, good sir.
That just went over everybody's head.
Anyway, how about you, Issa?
Well,
got a
I've always
favorite
been
book?
a Star Wars fan, so I always wondered, what happens between New Hope and all these movies and Empire. And they just 2 years ago they released comic books based on those stories. And you see what happens with Leia, finding out who really destroyed or who created the laser beam that destroyed her home planet, and all those things that happened between those movies, and they're made in comic book form now, and they're awesome. That's what I'm reading now, actually, on Marvel's Unlimited. Is it Marvel Unlimited?
Yeah. Well, actually, everything else all the great stories they had have been now made, uncanonical, not part of the mythos of Star Wars, because Marvel got the rights back to it.
Yeah.
So everything that was Dark Horse is gone. They had some great stories there.
Yeah.
But that's the way it works.
Okay. So for me, I'm gonna say my favorite series. I want to go too broad. I'm just gonna say the Infinity Gauntlet, which fine, I'll do it myself. And also a quick shout out to the Age of Apocalypse. I can't wait for that to really unfold. I hope that's what they're leaning towards on that side of the movie side, from the Fox perspective with the X-Men films. So
they're bringing it back with the Secret Wars launch that started today. They're bringing Age of Apocalypse back as a new series, so that'd be something to look forward to.
Oh, definitely.
No, they did have Apocalypse at the the end credits bonus scene.
Yeah,
right, for
X-Men.
Days of Future Past.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
Am I the only guy that went out on Comic Book Day?
No, I actually went out.
You went out as well?
Yeah.
I hit 3 places.
I had to work, so I only was able to hit up just one, but...
I was stupid. I went at 6 in the morning to Tate's. It was just, not Tate's, Max. We started at Max Comics, and then we went to Tate's. And then we hit a couple more spots on the way back, but my God. What
Dedication.
Dedication.
I have to say, well, even though I only hit up Max Comics and Collectibles, shout out to them.
Yeah.
I did walk away with a hell of a load. It was the sale they had going on outside, inside.
They got wiped out. I was there today. Their wall is empty. All their graphic novels and everything, they're just gone. They got to restock everything.
Yeah, comics are definitely back on the rise, which is very exciting in my opinion. So anyway, speaking of another big day, Star Wars Day just passed on Monday.
What's Star Wars?
What's Star Wars? So anyway, just real quick, I want to ask Issa, what is your favorite part of the Star Wars films?
I would have to say the invasion of Hoth in Empire Strikes Back. That was pretty cool.
With the AT-ATs.
Yes. Just starts the movie off epically.
Super tone. Alright, how about you, Eddie?
When Han Solo shot Greedo. No, I'm kidding.
Damn right, he shot first.
Wait a minute.
Greedo shot
We
first.
don't shoot him, right?
No, but to be honest, I really like the scene where Luke finally fights Vader up, and it's like just all dark. It's just the lightsabers. I think it's Return of the Jedi, right? Is it Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
And they're just
Oh,
fighting.
the first time they fight?
Well, no, the dark one. Once he has the robotic hand and everything.
Oh, yeah, that's Jedi.
And it's all dark, and you see neon and lights. I thought that was beautiful. Yeah, they need to do something like that in the new movie.
Oh, I agree. Tony?
Damn it, stole my answer, man. Yeah, Return of the Jedi, the final climactic battle, Luke and Vader, and then versus the Emperor would be it. And then also the only cool part of the Phantom Menace, which is Darth Maul fighting Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn.
When that second lightsaber ignites,
Yeah.
you're like, oh shit, it's on.
Ba-ba. Ba-ba.
Boner.
Yeah, exactly. All of our lightsabers ignited
Yes.
all at once. So how about you, Dan?
Jar Jar Binks. No, I'm just kidding. No. I have a boner about Star Wars, man. Shit. No, I would say.
Slave Leia.
Yeah.
Okay, that's up there. I would say one of my favorite moments was actually Luke finding out that Vader is his dad. Spoiler alert. And you know the little yell that Luke gives is my favorite part. Like, no!
Don't you want to sing that song? No, this is crazy. I just met you. I'm your father. So join me, maybe.
Nice. How about you, Dave?
For me, Miso likes Jar Jar.
No!
Miso don't understand what the big deal is. You disagree, Isa?
Yes.
I didn't disagree with your comment.
No, he's the worst character ever.
I'd have to say I like in episode 3 the fight scenes that went on at the same time with Obi-Wan and Anakin. Because he taught him how to fight. So when they're fighting, it's like they do the same moves and they're trying to get at the same time. And I really love the Emperor. He played everybody to the T. And so at the end, when he's fighting Yoda, he's throwing down the seats of the senators at Yoda. You know, he's just laughing, having a good time. Like, you're the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, and you're doing everything you can, and I'm just laughing, having a good time. You can't hate anybody that's laughing and having a good time as he was. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to go with towards the end of Empire. Just kind of that closing segment of when Lando sells them out, and Vader, when the door opens, and Vader's like, "We would be, delighted if you would join us," or whatever. And Boba Fett shows up. It's all the characters that you love, and the villains get the upper hand, and just everything about that from that point on was just like, this is cinema history happening in front of my face. I don't know what to do with my life. But to go with prequels, I'm going to have to say from Episode 2, when Yoda's fight scene comes up with Count Dooku.
The moment he starts flying through the air.
When he drops the cane and the lightsaber turns on, that theater lost its mind. People were up screaming, the lightsabers in the audience were ignited. I mean, I obviously were a little too young to be there when the original 77 films were released, I'm sure people were hooping and hollering at the screen.
Actually, no. From what I understand,
everything I heard,
people were not excited about Star Wars at all.
They were seeing it for the first time. They didn't have a love for it.
Well, I'm saying they were probably in shock. So yeah, I guess they weren't.
No, they weren't.
There.
A lot of, from what I understand, they didn't think it was going to be a success. They thought it was going to fail because
that's why they
it was too
gave
hokey and too.
that's why they gave George Lucas all the rights to the merchandise.
Yeah.
They didn't give him as much money as he wanted, so to make up for that, they let him keep certain merchandise rights and whatnot, which is what funded the rest of the movies and the Indiana Jones and everything else.
Right. No, I'm talking about like once people were actually in the theater and they were watching it and they were having their minds blown, because I've heard from like relatives or whatever that went to go see it, and they sat there and they were just like, I've never seen anything like this in my life, and thus it changed everyone's life. So.
Okay, so I'd have to say one last question. Jump back to the beer. I like what if questions or hypotheticals, as you may say. If you all could be king, lord, emperor, sultan, president of beer for a day, and whatever you said went, what would you do with beer? You could put it anywhere you want. You could do anything with it. Personally, me, I would declare all fountains in the world shall display beer. Go and sip. Jerry.
It's a quick way to get dysentery.
They do that in Germany once a year in Munich.
That's amazing.
There's a fountain. And
what day is this so I can go?
They were telling us.
Isn't it like September?
Is it near Oktoberfest? Is that what
No, it's not during Oktoberfest.
Well, they can't do it during the winter. It's too cold.
Do you remember?
Tell me. Okay.
Well,
No,
alright, I retract my question. No.
Alright, so
I'll look that up.
anyway, so mystery day for the beer fountains. I'm gonna say that. Ooh, that's a tough one. I would have it where, if I was running the Earth, I would just say it's National Beer Day and it's free beer day. You get free beer delivery at your door of the beer of my choosing, which would be my favorite beer. Everyone would get a double barrel Hanapuku. I'm sorry, extra non-stop hours for like 7 months for you, Eddie, to produce this to make it happen. But wow, that or to make it simpler, I would do it where at theme parks, every theme park around the world would be the International Beer Festival to celebrate beer. It would be a holiday. It'd be a national holiday. No one has to work, and you can go to your respected theme park, and every beer there is free with admission.
I would say for beer day, like you said, you go to a store.
Well, it's not beer day. It's whatever you
but
want.
it's going to be.
Yeah, if you're Emperor Issa.
It's going to be a day where you wake up.
And you watch the league.
No, you wake up. Besides the league. That's a great show, though.
By the way, can we all agree that he's Andre?
Yeah, he's
No,
Andre.
not Andre. Actually, we talked about the starting point.
Butter taco.
Yeah, I'm talking.
If you're not taco, you don't get nearly enough women.
JP's taco.
You don't get nearly enough women.
Or surgeon.
We're Eskimo brothers. Don't you know that?
You guys are not.
No, you're not.
Probably you are.
No, we're not.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So basically, you'll wake up and you'll go to like a store, any store you want, and they're gonna give you a free case of beer, and just any store, you just get a free case of beer. Fuck it, here's a free case of beer, and on top of that, you're gonna have fountains of like McDonald's or anywhere you go to, Moe's. There's no Coke, there's no soda that day. It's all beer that comes out of that freaking thing.
So you have to try beer.
Yeah.
It is mandatory. Beer or death.
So it sucks if you're, you have gluten problems, right?
Sorry.
Sorry, you died.
You just have to gluten-free beer or something.
Yeah,
Just wipe out those people in a generation.
Yeah. Issa's running the communist world of.
They can have gluten-free beer or drink water.
Before you go, I'd have to say it is actually it's Bavarian Beer Week in Munich, and I have it here that it is the first week in April. And one of the high points of Bavarian Beer Week is the opening day, Bavarian Beer Day, when Bavarian Brewers Federation dispenses free beer to the public from a specially designed open-air beer fountain in front of the Federation's brew house in downtown Munich.
You have to go there.
No, we went by it. So you it's a fountain. You bring your mug and you just dip it in, and
That's awesome.
Dude.
That sounds like something I
Can
would
CCB
dream.
make that for a Hunupu day? Like a fountain with just
It's
highlights?
double Hunapupu all day.
No, highlights. Just make it highlights. The massively produced beer. Just go in there and just get a mug of highlight. No, but it's a gimmick. It's a fountain.
you know they have these things like question or comments. You can submit that.
Yeah. Send an email to the brewery.
Yeah, but I got the CCB guy here, you know?
Yeah. Well.
He says no.
No. My answer would be a little more, I guess, realistic. I mean, it's not realistic at all, but I would make it so I would create a transportation system for beer so that all breweries are available wherever you are at all times. Did I just steal your answer?
Like the internet of beer.
Well, no, like I could just, if I want, for example, Hardywood beers, I could just go online to Hardywood website and order it, and they'll just ship it out to my house in like a day or two. You know what I mean? Or a beer from California, something like that. Like I hate the whole trading world and this whole beer mail thing. I appreciate the gifts that I get, but at the same time, I want to be able to. If I want to drink this, I can go online and just buy it. And I would give everybody money so that they would up their production, so we don't have to deal with this like, oh, there's only 10 bottles of, Hunapu available in the world, or Assassin, or whatever, KBBS, or whatever. I want to get rid of all that snootiness, and just have all the beers available for purchase whenever.
Yeah, plus you have all the jerks online now selling with a fake label on the bottle.
Right,
You've heard about that after unapproved. Don't do that. Don't be those. Don't be that person.
You want to be the anonymous of beer world.
There you
Make it all free and open to everybody.
Well, not free. You have
Just
to buy
make
it.
it
You have to
available
support the
everywhere.
brewery.
Free to buy.
He wants to be the eBay of beer. Because
Dude, well,
basically
mybeerseller.com.
every beer can go on eBay and
No,
beer.
but it's kind of like the new thing that they're talking about. Like, they have the air drones or whatever that are delivering the package, so it gets you super quick, and there's no fumbling of the package or.
And it's completely legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Shamakari.
yeah, that was going to be pretty much my answer too. But also, like striking down all the laws in all the states that prohibit distribution from other states in and out and all these things. So you can just I would make it so every brewery could distribute anywhere.
Yeah.
And another thing I would do is have the 64-ounce growler available and legal.
That is,
Well, I believe it passed.
Without,
I think it's like
without any strings
months
attached.
no, it's coming.
There are no strings on you.
I thought I read June.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's coming.
Sweet.
Dan?
Obviously free beer everywhere. Besides that, I would,
Naked people giving you free beer.
no, not just any people, no.
There's a hefty screening process.
Yes, of course.
Must be vetted.
I would,
Hefty screening process?
The process, not the...
you're screening for the hefties.
Hey, it's whatever the person wants.
Yeah, I would, kind of echo what you guys are saying, make everything available to anybody who wants it. And I would eliminate the rampant craft beer douchebaggery that exists out there.
Yeah.
And some of those people that know who they are kind of are, real stuck up about it. I think that's stupid. It's fucking beer.
So if you don't know any craft beer douchebags, you probably are going? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it's not.
No.
Okay.
Well, no.
Well, on that note, we'll end the episode then.
Yeah. There you go.
What was everyone's favorite beer of the show?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I really
see
like the Heifer, and obviously the Zukov. Zukov, obviously.
Mekong.
The big
I love
Mega
Vietnamese
Man.
coffee, man.
For me, Mekong as well.
I'm gonna go with the Milkman.
Yeah, for me, the Heifer is a good blend.
Well, are we counting it as a separate beer?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, then the Heifer then. I didn't think that counted, so I'm gonna go with the Heifer.
Is there anything you want to throw out about anything coming up this
Well, American Craft Beer Week is coming up. Right now, as it is, we've got May 8th, which is this Friday. I'm at Smash Flamingo doing a tap takeover. I'm also at Brew at the Zoo in May 9th. Then for American Craft Beer Week, we're doing a tasting at Sriracha House on the beach on the 12th. The 14th, there's a World of Beer Kendall tap takeover with 4 local breweries called Batch of the Titans. It's us, Funky, MIA, and Wynwood.
Nice.
And then on the 15th, I have a tap takeover at Box Elder in Wynwood. And I'll be doing a tasting. I'll be doing a class, actually, this Thursday on the 7th and on the 16th at Total Wine.
Which Total Wine?
With Total Wine on the 7th, it's Total Wine Pinecraft. I'll be doing a class just basically talking about our core brands. And then on the 16th, I'll be in Pembroke Pines, which I don't think any of you are going to go to. But if you do go, I'll be out there sampling out some of our core brands and specialty items.
Okay, so that ends our show. If you have any comments or questions, you can always tweet us on Twitter at BeerBrosBS. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/BeerBrosBS. We're on Instagram, BeerBrosBS. Email us your questions, concerns,
Suggestions.
suggestions.
Just to say hi.
Yeah.
If
Tell-
you want to drink with us.
Tell us a funny
Or
joke.
shoot us a question.
If you have any CCB concerns, I have Instagram at CCB305. That's me. I post all our events and stuff that goes on in South Florida there. That's about it.
We also have, so our email is beerbrosbs@gmail.com. You can visit our website. Please do, beerbrosbs.com. We're also, you can find these podcasts, previous, future, on SoundCloud. And finally, guys, we are on iTunes.
Yeah.
So, all right, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. Our guest, Eddie.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.